Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A vaguely specified concern. Things are going well. An action. How could you do such a thing? An artifact. How does this thing work? An entity that is not named specifically. I couldn't tell what the thing was. An event. A funny thing happened on the way to the. Any attribute or quality considered as having its own existence. The thing I like about her is. A persistent illogical feeling of desire or aversion. He has a thing about seafood. A separate and self-contained entity. A special abstraction. A thing of the spirit. A special objective. The thing is to stay in bounds. A special situation. This thing has got to end. A statement regarded as an object. To say the same thing in other terms. A usually secretive or illicit sexual relationship. A vaguely specified concern. It is none of your affair. A vaguely specified social event. The party was quite an affair. A vaguely specified concern. Several matters to attend to. Have weight. Have import, carry weight. It does not matter much. Some situation or event that is thought about. It is a matter for the police. A problem. Is anything the matter? That which has mass and occupies space. Physicists study both the nature of matter and the forces which govern it. Used with negation, having consequence. They were friends and it was no matter who won the games. Written works, especially in books or magazines. He always took some reading matter with him on the plane. Be on the mind of. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. A racially integrated business concern. Be relevant to. Something or someone that causes anxiety, a source of unhappiness. New York traffic is a constant concern. An anxious feeling. A feeling of sympathy for someone or something. She felt strong concern for those less fortunate. Something that interests you because it is important or affects you. The safety of the ship is the captain's concern. A military engagement. He saw action in Korea. A judicial proceeding brought by one party against another. One party prosecutes another for a wrong done or for protection of a right or for prevention of a wrong. The operating part that transmits power to a mechanism. The piano had a very stiff action. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. She actioned the company for discrimination. Put in effect. He actioned the operation. The state of being active. He is out of action. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. The action of natural forces. An act by a government body or supranational organization. Recent federal action undermined the segregationist position. Something done, usually as opposed to something said. There were stories of murders and other unnatural actions. The most important or interesting work or activity in a specific area or field. The action is no longer in technology stocks but in municipal bonds. The series of events that form a plot. His novels always have a lot of action. The trait of being active and energetic and forceful. A man of action. A man-made object taken as a whole. A man-made object taken as a whole. That which is perceived or known or inferred to have its own distinct existence, living or non-living. An event that happens. An instance of something occurring. A disease of frequent occurrence. An event that happens. An event that happens. Presently occurring, either causally or incidentally. Technical terms are rarely occurrent in literature. An event that happens. A construct whereby objects or individuals can be distinguished. Decide as to where something belongs in a scheme. Attribute or credit to. We attributed this quotation to Shakespeare. An abstraction belonging to or characteristic of an entity. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. An intuitive understanding of something. He had a great feeling for music. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. What are your feelings about the crisis? The sensation produced by pressure receptors in the skin. The surface had a greasy feeling. A physical sensation that you experience. He had a queasy feeling. The experiencing of affective and emotional states. She had a feeling of euphoria. An entity that has physical existence. Not representing or imitating external reality or the objects of nature. A large abstract painting. A sketchy summary of the main points of an argument or theory. Make off with belongings of others. A concept or idea not associated with any specific instance. He loved her only in the abstract, not in person. Consider a concept without thinking of a specific example. Consider abstractly or theoretically. Consider apart from a particular case or instance. Let's abstract away from this particular example. Dealing with a subject in the abstract without practical purpose or intention. Abstract reasoning. Existing only in the mind, separated from embodiment. Abstract words like truth and justice. Give an abstract of. Preoccupation with something to the exclusion of all else. The process of formulating general concepts by abstracting common properties of instances. A general concept formed by extracting common features from specific examples. A concept or idea not associated with any specific instance. An abstract painting. The act of withdrawing or removing something. Serving as or indicating the object of a verb or of certain prepositions and used for certain other purposes. Objective case. Undistorted by emotion or personal bias, based on observable phenomena. An objective appraisal. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. The lens or system of lenses in a telescope or microscope that is nearest the object being viewed. Belonging to immediate experience of actual things or events. Objective benefits. Emphasizing or expressing things as perceived without distortion of personal feelings or interpretation. Objective art. The location of the target that is to be hit. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. A person who is the aim of an attack, especially a victim of ridicule or exploitation, by some hostile person or influence. The target of a manhunt. A reference point to shoot at. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. Sports equipment consisting of an object set up for a marksman or archer to aim at. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. The sole object of her trip was to see her children. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. It was full of rackets, balls and other objects. Be averse to or express disapproval of. My wife objects to modern furniture. Computing. A discrete item that provides a description of virtually anything known to a computer. In object-oriented programming, objects include data and define its status, its methods of operation and how it interacts with other objects. Express or raise an objection or protest or criticism or express dissent. She never objected to the amount of work her boss charged her with. Grammar. A constituent that is acted upon. The object of the verb. The focus of cognitions or feelings. Objects of thought. The direction or path along which something moves or along which it lies. Specifically design a product, event, or activity for a certain public. Have an ambitious plan or a lofty goal. An anticipated outcome that is intended or that guides your planned actions. It was created with the conscious aim of answering immediate needs. Move into a desired direction of discourse. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. He aimed his fists towards his opponent's face. Propose or intend. I aim to arrive at noon. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Please don't aim at your little brother. Direct. A remark, toward an intended goal. She wanted to aim a pun. The action of directing something at an object. He took aim and fired. The general state of things. The combination of circumstances at a given time. Wondered how such a state of affairs had come about. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between two evils. A job in an organization. Physical position in relation to the surroundings. The general state of things, the combination of circumstances at a given time. The present international situation is dangerous. A complex or critical or unusual difficulty. The dangerous situation developed suddenly. Computer science. A line of code written as part of a computer program. A fact or assertion offered as evidence that something is true. A document showing credits and debits. The act of affirming or asserting or stating something. A message that is stated or declared. A communication, oral or written, setting forth particulars or facts, etc. According to his statement, he was in London on that day. A nonverbal message. A Cadillac makes a statement about who you are. Music, the presentation of a musical theme. The initial statement of the sonata. Used to form the superlative. The garter snake is the least dangerous snake. Something that is of no importance. It is the least I can do. The superlative of little that can be used with mass nouns and is usually preceded by the, a quantifier meaning smallest in amount or extent or degree. Didn't care the least bit. A contraceptive in the form of a pill containing estrogen and progestin to inhibit ovulation and so prevent conception. A dose of medicine in the form of a small pellet. A unpleasant or tiresome person. Something that resembles a tablet of medicine in shape or size. Something unpleasant or offensive that must be tolerated or endured. His competitor's success was a bitter pill to take. An activity that varies from a norm or standard. Any variation in his routine was immediately reported. The angle, at a particular location, between magnetic north and true north. Ballet, a solo dance or dance figure. Biology, an organism that has characteristics resulting from chromosomal alteration. Something a little different from others of the same type. An emery wheel is the modern variation of a grindstone. An instance of change, the rate or magnitude of change. An artifact that deviates from a norm or standard. He patented a variation on the sandal. A repetition of a musical theme in which it is modified or embellished. Astronomy. Any perturbation of the mean motion or orbit of a planet or satellite, especially a perturbation of the Earth's moon. The act of changing or altering something slightly but noticeably from the norm or standard. Who is responsible for these variations in taxation? The process of varying or being varied. The chief one of a related group. It is their flagship newspaper. The ship that carries the commander of a fleet and flies his flag. Something that wobbles. An actor able to replace a regular performer when required. Ready for emergency use. A standby generator. Something that can be relied on when needed. Someone who expresses contempt or indignation by uttering a snorting sound. Something outstandingly difficult. The problem was a real snorter. Something that is extraordinary or remarkable or prominent. A snorter of a sermon.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.